These charts display the modern corporate obsession with measuring absolutely everything: sales, quarterly growth, individual performance metrics. If an action can be quantified, businesses track it daily. But this data-driven mindset runs into a wall when it comes to human dynamics. Despite all our tracking tools, we still struggle to measure the exact moment that trust forms between a leader and their team. If you ask someone the exact day their partner fell in love, they can't answer. You can't point to a specific Tuesday and say, "That's the metric, that's when it happened." The transition is invisible. Leadership works exactly the same way. It is not a singular, trackable event that you can capture in a spreadsheet. It is a phenomenon that only reveals itself over a prolonged period of time. Because companies crave measurable results, they try to manufacture leadership through high-intensity events. They take the whole team away for a 2-day off-site retreat, bring in a guest speaker, hand out certificates, and expect everyone to return as fully formed leaders. Imagine going to the gym and lifting heavy weights for 9 straight hours. You would drop from exhaustion, but when you looked in the mirror, you wouldn't see any biological changes. The intensity doesn't create the result. When managers return from their intensive retreats and see no visible change in the team's dynamic the very next day, they assume the training failed, so they give up and search for a new program. But the program isn't the problem. Intensity without repetition always fails. Building genuine culture and trust requires a completely different mechanical approach. If intensity doesn't work, the only valid mechanism left is consistency. Think about dental hygiene. Brushing your teeth for 2 minutes on a random Tuesday does absolutely nothing to protect your teeth. This animated calendar grid illustrates the alternative. The only thing that prevents systemic decay is the unbroken daily repetition of that minor 2-minute act every single day. This biological reality maps directly to leadership. True leadership is simply the accumulation of innocuous, tiny interactions that seem entirely useless when viewed in isolation. No single conversation, email, or meeting carries measurable weight, but when practiced daily, the aggregate of those minor actions creates total structural integrity for a team. To see what these small actions look like in practice, we can look at a specific behavioral test to identify active leadership. Most managers fail this test constantly. They rush down a hallway on their way to a meeting, ask a subordinate how their day is going, and keep right on walking before the person can even answer. Passing the test requires physically stopping in the hallway, turning your body fully toward the other person, and actively listening to their response. That specific act of stopping proves that the question was asked out of genuine care, rather than a transactional corporate obligation. It shows the person that they actually matter. Consistent, unrecorded acts of care change the nature of the workplace. Eventually, people stop showing up because they're paid to be there and start showing up because they feel responsible for the person sitting next to them. Once that accumulated trust is established, it becomes the foundation for an environment built on shared beliefs and values. The golden circle diagram shows how organizations structure alignment. The center why circle is the core belief driving decisions. The outer how and what rings represent tactical daily processes. These actions only function correctly when radiating outward from that central trust-based belief. Without that shared core belief binding people together, an organization is merely a collection of transactional relationships. It lacks the capacity for real loyalty. When consistent leadership successfully builds that loyalty, the workplace evolves. Colleagues stop treating each other as temporary coworkers and start treating each other like family. We see this most clearly in the military model. In high-stress environments, soldiers do not view the people next to them as colleagues. They view them as brothers and sisters, connected by unshakable mutual devotion. That doesn't mean it's a utopia. Conflict and bickering still happen, just like in any family. The underlying baseline of trust prevents those disagreements from destroying the relationship. When a team operates with this level of mutual trust, they create a social safety net that makes the organization resilient. People choose to stay through difficult periods or turn down higher-paying offers because they are unwilling to sacrifice the community they've helped build. This transition happens in the silence between our big meetings and retreats. We become leaders by choosing to act with consistent care in every small interaction, every single day.